Welcome to our weekly discussion to all things current in California politics. I'm Walt Gray. Joining us this week, reporter Emily Hoeven, a political expert for CalMatters.org. Emily, nice to have you back on the program. We've got wildfire season coming up, which the governor is trying to plan for this. We have a drought which is looming. The governor is deeply involved financially, budget-wise and all this, plus faces a possible recall. How does this all tie together?
Yeah, it sort of seems like when one problem is about to taper off, another one starts to come in. This week, he did sign a $536 million wildfire prevention bill, but it just kind of brought to the forefront the idea that even as the pandemic seems to be in better shape, there's a drought looming on the horizon. There is likely going to be a big wildfire season again. So far this year, there has already been double the amount of fires that there was last year, which was the worst wildfire season in California history. And so I think for the governor, it's just really another reminder that California is not an easy state to govern. And this, if there's our big wildfires again, people have to evacuate. If there are power shutoffs, that could potentially create more voter discontent ahead of this likely recall.
Yeah, this is not, no matter what party you are, this is an extremely difficult state to govern. Churches, places of worship are reopening. The Supreme Court has said so. Again, how does this tie into how California is governed?
Yeah, it's interesting. There have been around 83 lawsuits against the governor for his coronavirus restrictions. And in most of those cases, the state and the federal courts have mostly sided with the governor in terms of allowing him to have those restrictions. But when it comes to religious freedom, religious liberty, that has not been the case. Of the 10 churches and religious groups that have sued the governor over his restrictions at the Supreme Court, 5 of them have seen victory. And that has actually allowed churches to be the first, and other places of worship to be the first places in California that no longer have mandatory capacity limits. So if they so choose, they could open up at full capacity with people being masked inside. And so for a lot of, champions of religious freedom, that has been a really big victory against the governor.
Vaccines, a big story this week with the Johnson & Johnson on pause and people 16 and older eligible to get the shots now. How is this all seemingly working out or not?
Yeah, it's a lot of things are happening at one time. It never sleeps around here. So just as millions of people are becoming eligible for the shot, the state is actually experiencing a significant supply decrease. And this is actually in large part due to the J&J vaccine on 2 fronts. So on the first front, there was a manufacturing mix-up that ruined 15 million doses. So that decreased the supply nationwide. And then on top of that, there was this recent pause after a couple of rare blood clots. And so California is actually, going to have a lot less shots available, even as more and more people are signing up for appointments. But it's expected to get better in the next couple of weeks. And I do think for a lot of people, this recent eligibility expansion is a sign that, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And we'll just have to see how the state vaccine website holds up with all those registrations coming in.
Yeah, everybody's still optimistic and in line. And now with the Moderna and Pfizer, those are the only 2 options as we speak right now. Emily, thank you. CalMatters is a nonpartisan news organization explaining California policies and politics. Find their work at CalMatters.org. You can also sign up for Emily's newsletter there.